To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another amazing episode of Main Gate Magic. It's me, your host, Mr. Jason Braden, and tonight I have in the studio with me Miss Leia. How are you doing this evening, too?
I'm doing amazing. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. I'm excited because last week's episode, I kind of teased, going off script, or not really off script, but off the Disney path, outside of the main gates and into the realm of other movies, and discussing something that was not in the Disney universe. And I happened to land on something that seems to be kind of very popular right now because, wait a second. Do you hear that?
Yes.
It's happening. It's very low. Like it's under something, under the water, maybe?
Sounds like a predator.
Maybe. Oh, that's a very familiar sound.
Are you out for a morning swim, Jason? Do you need to be
No. Sorry, that is just a regular, hardcore no.
Yeah.
That's right, everybody. We are talking about Jaws today, and I am thrilled. This is our wild card episode. We're going to probably do this once every month. It was suggested to do it like maybe every once in a while. So yeah, I think once a month. And because it's the second Tuesday of the month, I think it's the second Tuesday of the month, isn't it? Is that right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah. So every second Tuesday of the month, we will have a wild card episode where we step outside the main gates of Disney and outside of the Disney umbrella and get our feet wet with something other than Disney. And I can see that's captivating our audience hardcore because we have one whole watcher right now. Oh, two people. Andrew's in the house, and he says, "Greeting from the shark side."
Hi, Andrew.
I figured he'd have a pun lined up and ready to fire out of the chamber. So good on you, Andrew. Always great to have those lines in there. I know Patricia's probably going to join us any moment now too, but
yeah,
I can't talk enough about this movie. You've seen it before, obviously. I'm assuming more than once.
Oh, grew up with this film. Phenomenal. Yes. And I saw it about 2 years ago, but when I watched it, I'm like, oh, I know this movie. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, how old were you? Because I remember Lisa talking about this once before, and she said her dad took her to see it when she was like 3 years old. I can't imagine you were that young, were you?
No. I think I saw Jaws when I was not that much older. I think I first saw it when I was probably 4 or 5, and it terrified me naturally.
That's still pretty young.
Yeah, I was young enough with my wild imagination where I remember being little, and at night I would picture that my bed was with water and Jaws was going to come up around me and I was quaking in my boots.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would kind of freak me out too. I honestly can't recall when I first saw Jaws, but every time that I went to the beach, and because I grew up in Southern California, that was quite a bit. I was definitely thinking about what lurks beneath that I can't see.
Yeah.
It's not like the oceans of California are crystal blue like Hawaii and you can like see right underneath you or anything. It's murky, it's sandy, it's cloudy.
Yeah, it is.
You don't know what's there. Yeah, and then when something brushes up against your leg, which is more than likely seaweed or junk, you're second guessing yourself and going, what was that? What was that?
No, Jason, you know what's funny? Like, I grew up in Wisconsin, and even in the swimming pool, after watching Jaws, I'd be paranoid of a shark in a pool. But
Oh
in
my God.
California, you actually have to be afraid. Legitimately, that is a realistic fear for you.
Yeah. I mean, especially in California, there's actually been lots of shark attacks off the coast of California before. So
Oh,
it's
jeez.
a real thing. It's a real thing. Definitely a real thing. Andrew says Disney bought Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm produced Star Wars. The Star Wars music was composed by John Williams, and John Williams wrote the music for Jaws. There's your total stretch of a Disney connection. Yeah. Talk about
Anything
5 degrees of
applies. I
separation.
like
Yeah, that's
the.
definitely okay. I'm sorry. I gotta load up the. There we go. That does get a round of applause.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the levity and the clarity there. That's awesome. That was really loud. Sorry about that, guys.
There we go.
Well, along with the fun facts that we're going to be talking about this movie, we of course do have some trivia lined up. I think I want to wait till more people actually get in the audience, though. I was writing these this afternoon, and I couldn't stop. There was just so many things, and I looked online, and I got some ideas for different trivia questions. And I just started thinking like, oh, I could ask this question, I could ask that question. And I'm like, I have to stop because otherwise it's going to be just a trivia show only. So, all right, let's talk about the movie. The movie was actually made in 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg. I don't have information as far as gross money that it made or anything like that, but I do know that you and I were talking about this before the show started. The film the making of the film was a disaster. And
Yes.
if you
No one
guys
would
have
guess.
yeah, and if you guys have ever there is a documentary or a behind the scenes short out there somewhere that does talk to all the cast members, Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, Steven Spielberg, obviously, about the making of it, and it is phenomenal. And I think that one of the nature channels or something like that is doing another one talking about the 50 years of Jaws coming up very soon. It might be already out, but I don't quite recall.
That's
Um
awesome.
yeah, but I can't wait to see it because I mean, I love kind of hearing about movies that just they thought were just going to be horrible because of, all the things that went wrong, and it
Yeah.
ends up being a smash hit, a summer blockbuster. In fact, I think I read somewhere that said Jaws is kind of what kicked off the summer blockbuster type movies
I
back in the
think
day.
I read about that, and it was so fitting because in the movie they literally obsess over we're not going to shut down the beach. It's our like money maker. They're just.
Yeah, exactly. My gosh, I'm looking at IMDb right now, and I didn't look at trivia for this, but I'm going to give my first little fun fact of the show. So, you remember Mrs. Kittner, right? I mean, she's the one that had the little boy who, was one of the
So
victims,
sad.
basically, right? It
Yeah.
says several decades after the film's release, Lee Fierro, Mrs. Kittner, walked into a seafood restaurant and noticed an Alex Kittner sandwich on the menu. She commented that she had played his mother many years ago. Jeffrey Voorhees, I'm assuming no relation to Jason Voorhees, the killer from Friday the 13th,
Okay.
the manager of the restaurant who had played Alex ran out to meet her. Oh my God, they hadn't seen each other since the original movie shoot. They ran into each other by
Oh,
coincidence, and they happened to have an Alex Kittner sandwich on the menu. That is crazy.
that is amazing. When the guy that was her son that
Yeah,
passed.
he was the one that
Oh
actually
my
he was the
gosh.
one he was I guess that was Jeffrey Voorhees, the kid that played Alex.
Oh my goodness.
That is so neat.
Could you imagine like it could have been any other restaurant, but the one that happens to have like the
Yeah, I
child?
know. It makes
Yeah.
me wonder, like, what is the Alex Kittner special? Like, is it like roast beef with extra barbecue sauce on it or something like
I know
that?
that
Or
sounds like
is it a
cannibally.
fish
I don't know
special? Yeah, I don't know. Probably served on like a little like piece of bread that's in the shape of an inflatable raft.
I was thinking.
That's horrible, but it's
Maybe
okay.
some little shark French fry wedges or something.
Yeah, shark nuggies. It could be
Shark
shark nuggies. Right.
yes, with ketchup for blood.
Right. Yeah, totally. Andrew says there used to be no such thing as a summer blockbuster. Summer used to be the time of year that studios released films they didn't know what to do with. Jaws was one of those films. I believe it. Just
Wow.
because of the fact that, of just all the stuff that just God, the shark is not. All I remember is Richard Dreyfuss in the documentary. The shark is not working again. The shark is broken again. I remember him saying that in the documentary that I watched. And
Gosh,
Richard Dreyfuss, of course, who played Mr. Hooper.
I love
Um,
Richard Dreyfuss. Dreyfuss,
he was
yeah.
great. And I mean, I think about the cast and all the people that played characters in that movie, from the little kids all the way to the oldest adults.
Hmm.
I can't think of one performance where I just kind of went like, who the hell cast that person?
Agreed.
Every
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody was just very natural, very themselves, it seemed like, and very just kind of homey, I mean, because
yeah,
it's a New England island, I guess, right? And I think it's kind of like Nantucket-ish, where people go out for the holidays and stuff like that, and they want to be on the beach because they're, like bright white sand, clear waters and stuff like that. And
yeah.
in steps Mr. Mayor, and he's like, "Oh no, we don't have a problem. We need money. So bring in the tourists. You guys keep the beaches safe, but it'll be open."
Man,
And you know
the
what?
blood on his hands.
Yeah, what a D-bag.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, he was not the nice guy. So, and that kind of brings me to one question. Most movies, they have to have a hero. In this case, I feel like there were multiple heroes, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
But I think this movie also had more than one antagonist, right? Because the mayor, he was kind of an antagonist because he was going against everything for keeping the public safe. He was a typical politician, right? Puts
Yeah.
blinders up just so that he can get money for the town and make sure that this town stays alive. I mean,
Yep.
I get it, but for the safety of people's lives, doesn't make sense, obviously. And then, of
Nope.
course, there's the other city council members that agreed with him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. We got to do this." And like, "Oh, we can't close the beaches." And the
Nope.
mayor says only 24 hours, and somebody from the audience shouts, "24 hours is like 3 weeks." I'm like, "What?" That's not like 3 weeks.
No, that's why I would love to tell them if it was real. I would just be like, okay, you go swim then. Like after
Yeah,
those few deaths, it's like you go swim in those nice little waters with the
right.
people.
Totally. And so, I mean, I think all the people that kind of backed the mayor and said like, "Oh no, we don't want to close the beaches. We want the town to be open because gotta," like Quint says, "gotta keep your businesses on a paying basis."
I love Quinn.
Yeah, totally nice guy. Y'all know me, know what I do for a living. Yeah,
Yes,
probably my favorite character in the movie. It's gotta be.
mine too.
Although I
Well,
heard he was like the most difficult to work with too because he was always
that's what I
drunk.
heard.
Yeah.
He was always drunk. I didn't know that. I just heard he was kind of a difficult guy.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a drinking problem on stage, and I think originally they asked him not to drink anything for the scene where he describes his voyage or the disaster on the Indianapolis, right? Uh,
Okay.
I think he kind of went against their wishes, and he did that scene without any cuts, straight while he was drunk, basically.
Wow.
And it is like one of the most iconic monologues I think in cinematic history.
Is
Now,
that where
I,
he
I
talked about the doll's eyes?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much of it was improv or if it was all scripted or anything like that. But yeah, that was the scene. It's like where a shark's eyes is
Iconic.
like black eyes, like a doll's eyes. That one,
Yeah.
yeah.
So good.
Andrew says, I was 13 when Jaws came out. It was a film that 13-year-olds used to dare each other to sneak into because we all knew it was scary. Yeah. I mean, back then that was horror.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
because you had blood and gore and, you know, all sorts of people getting killed. It was nasty.
yeah, well, I still think like I've seen a very good amount of scary movies. I know it's not like supernatural, but as far as like gets your blood pressure raising, there are some scenes that are you put yourself in the shoes of the character and you feel their pain almost, not ouch wise, but like empathetically, I'm so sorry. Like the girl in the beginning
Right.
when she gets bit down by the shark and she starts crying. It's like I sometimes tear up when I watch that because I know she's not actually dying, but if she was, that would be so sad and scary. Like,
Did you know that the actress that played Chrissy, who was the one who the first victim, basically, the one that got, dragged underwater by the shark back and forth and everything,
mhm.
They actually had divers underneath the water that were pulling on her legs left and right with ropes or straps or something that were tied around her ankles. And they were pulling so hard in either direction that I can't remember if they actually dislocated something, but they actually physically injured her, which made her scream even more realistically. So that
No.
scene, the reason it sounds so real is because a part of it is very real. She was in
Holy
pain.
smokes.
Yeah. And that's all. It's something that's actually part of the documentary too. If you guys ever get a chance to watch it, I'm telling you, it's it's a must watch if you really love this movie.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch
Uh,
it.
Hello, Leanne. Good to see you on.
Hi,
And of
Leanne.
course, hello, Patricia. I love she's got all the sharks on
Patricia.
there.
I
Shark,
love
shark,
the
shark, shark,
sharks.
shark, shark, shark. Shark bait. Ooh ha.
Shark fake uba jubby.
Oopa badoo. Oopa jubby. I knew where you were going. I got you.
I need to
I got your back. Andrew says, if I recall in Peter Benchley's novel that if I recall in Peter Benchley's novel that the film was based on, there was a subplot about the mayor being corrupt and having ties to the syndicate. Yeah. When I
Oh.
was looking at the trivia, I think they said it was the mafia. That because like the mafia was actually they owned some of the businesses, or they protected some of the businesses in town, and they had a vested interest, so they were pressuring the mayor to keep the businesses open and the beaches open so that they wouldn't lose any money. So
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
yeah, that was clearly dropped for the movie, although I did read, and I didn't really pay attention to this before, and I almost made it a trivia question, but I felt like it was a little bit more difficult because it's almost kind of Easter eggish. But Larry, the city mayor, he was a real estate agent. So he was kind of already a businessman trying to keep, things going and things alive and everything. So that part of that business sense of him was probably what pushed him to kind of keep all the beaches open, because, I mean, not that people coming in on the 4th of July are going to give him any business unless they're like, "Ooh, I want to move here." But
Yeah.
I have a feeling his business sense kind of kicked in, and that's a big part of also why he wanted to keep the beaches open. So,
Oh, that's cool.
uh,
All this insight. It adds like more layers to the movie.
yeah. Don't worry, I'm here. Signs of Amusement says you're welcome. Thank you. I I think that's Jason. How you doing, Jason? Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad that
I
you're
did
here. And I was worried for a while. So happy. I'm like, I can finally breathe
the
and
show can now start.
make a sigh of relief. Exactly. Andrew's also saying Spielberg paid tribute to Jaws in his film 1941. Oh wow, I didn't know that. He brought back the same actress from the beginning of Jaws to recreate her scene. Instead of a shark, it was a Japanese sub that surfaces under her. That's right. I didn't know it was the same actress, though.
Oh
I
my
haven't seen
god.
that movie in ages.
This lady needs to stay out of the water.
I know, right? I mean, you would think that she'd be a little hesitant, but I mean, I'll bet you the condition was, as long as you're not yanking my feet under the water and I don't dislocate anything, then we're good. I'll bet you that was
Yeah.
probably a condition. So,
She's probably like, what's under me now? She goes
yeah, I
swimming
know,
in the
right?
water.
Exactly. What's that tickling my toes? It's not a shark fin. No, it's a periscope. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. I think John Belushi was in that movie too, or is it Jim Belushi? I can't remember. Andrew, I'm sure will let me know in a second now that I've brought it up. Jason says, I always remember the scene from Clerks where they do a nod to Jaws. You know what? It has been so long since I've seen Clerks. I don't remember which scene that they
I
did the
know
nod
so.
to. Yeah. I'll take your word for it, of course. Oh, and Expedition Steve is here. He says, I'm here too, just eating and watching. What are you eating? Are you having
Hi,
fish?
Expedition Steve.
Oh, he says it's John Belushi. So yeah, knew
Oh,
he was
Jen,
it.
I
Yeah.
love him.
All right, folks. Well, we've got a few people in the audience. I think it's time to actually maybe get started on the trivia. Could do some more kicking off points to our discussion throughout the evening. I mean, it's still a little early, but why not? Oops, wait. Where'd you go, Leia? There you are. Okay.
Jaws got me.
I know, Josh got you. Oh, he's having Thai fried rice. Ooh, how
Ooh,
nice.
yum. That sounds
So, all
delicious.
right. It is time for Jaws trivia night. This is going to be fun. I loved making these. I didn't really hold a lot of stuff back. I think some of them are pretty easy, but there might be a few head scratchers out there. So you guys just do your best. Put your answers. It's all going to be multiple choice. No true or false this time. Just give me the letter in the chat and let me know what you think as we go. All right. So the very first question is, what species of shark was caught and mistaken for Jaws? So about maybe a third of the way through the movie, almost maybe half, they catch a shark, right? They caught a shark, but they didn't catch the shark. That's the shark I'm talking about. So was it A, a great white, B, a mako, C, a thresher, or D, a tiger? Now this is the shark that
Ooh.
they had. This is the shark that they had hanging up on the pole, and they got a big group photo, and
They were so
they're like,
proud of themselves.
they were very proud of themselves, and they're like, "Oh, great! We caught the shark, so everybody can go and back and do their business and everything, and oh, we're all safe and everything."
Didn't they
But
cut the belly open or something and they realized there's like nothing in there? No, like
yeah, they do
something.
an autopsy later on, and I do have a trivia question that relates to that in a little bit, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
Andrew is doing his wonderful E option, and he says a loan shark. So, yes, it was a loan shark, which is why they killed him.
To the bookie.
I know, right? Yeah, dangerous fella. So you gotta take care of him. All right. So Patricia
Yeah.
says Patricia is guessing B, a mako. I see signs of amusement. Jason's saying B. Expedition Steve is saying B. Leanne is saying C, a thresher. Patricia's saying F, land shark. I
I
love
love
it.
the humor here tonight.
Yes. I'm sorry. So, Leia, do you know the reference to land shark?
No, I don't.
If you get a chance to watch, just do a YouTube search for Saturday Night Live land shark, or even just land shark.
Oh,
And
okay, I'll look it
yeah,
up.
it is literally, quite literally, about this shark that goes door to door killing people. But
Oh my god.
he knocks on their door, rings their doorbell, and he pretends to be anything but a shark.
Oh my god.
That's all I will say, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that have probably seen it before.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely watch that.
Andrew's all Candygram. That is one of the things that the shark pretends to be. All right, so we got a lot of good guesses in here, but unfortunately, they're all wrong. The answer is D. It's a tiger shark.
What I guessed. Inwardly.
Tiger. Yeah,
I
so
should have said it out loud.
yeah, I forgot to ask you. I'm so sorry, but I didn't hear you guess. Did you?
No, I guessed inwardly.
Yeah,
But I wasn't
so
confident in myself, so I didn't say it, but I thought tiger.
yeah. So the scene when they're setting it up, like everybody's like, celebrating, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're wonderful. We caught the shark. We can be open for the holiday." And then there's Matt Hooper, who is walking around the shark with a measuring tape and a pad and a pencil stuck in his mouth, and he's like getting in the middle of the photo and everything. And one of the fishermen goes, "But like, what kind of shark?" And because it's like that sort of New Englandish accent.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, he's got the pencil in his mouth. He's like, "Tiger shark." And then the guy's like, "Oh, what?" Because I'm like, you guys are fishermen and you've never heard of a tiger shark. I mean, that kind of blows my mind a little bit, but
No kidding. Even elementary kids, that's like one of the only sharks that they can
yeah,
identify. Yeah.
kind of right. Yeah. So I was surprised about that line, but that is the only time they actually identify that particular species of shark that they caught. But again, as Mr. Hooper said, they caught a shark, not the shark. Probably
I
not the shark
actually,
that killed Chrissy Watkins, and certainly not the shark that killed the little boy.
yep. I
Yeah.
actually have a fun fact, but tell me if might be trivia coming up. It doesn't have to do with the movie. Do you know the top 2 sharks, I think, in the world that people actually should be the most afraid of because they like the taste of human meat? Ironically, great white sharks aren't too keen on us. They'll be a little curious and take a bite sometimes, but
Is one of them hammerheads?
yes.
Yes.
Hammerheads and
Is it a reef shark? A certain
I
type of reef shark?
I believe this shark I'm thinking of is a reef shark. But if
Like a
anybody
black
wants to
tip reef
fact check
shark?
me, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. I know hammerheads are man-eaters, and I think they are definitely more ferocious. They actually,
They are.
if you've ever seen like satellite photos from like space where they show like schools of hammerheads, there are hundreds and hundreds of them in schools. It's
It's
crazy how much they
terrifying.
swarm around. And I've even
And they'll
seen
just
like,
come up right to the beach. Like,
yeah. And
yep.
I've even seen documentaries where they show like actual feeding frenzies, and I think that they've done hammerheads before. It's brutal. It's definitely
Yeah.
brutal.
The second one is bull sharks. People need to be
Bull
very afraid of bull.
sharks.
They have a lot of testosterone and they're pretty forward with people.
You think that maybe it's because they're a Taurus?
Oh,
No.
absolutely. And they were born on the fourth moon. So
Oh. Gotta watch out for those bull sharks.
they have a little bit of a temper. Yeah.
Well, that one was fun. Let's go to the next.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, here it is. This is it. During the shark autopsy, when Hooper is cutting open the shark to try to identify the contents of its stomach because it has a very slow digestive system. Yes, I've seen this movie a few times. Get over it. What state was the license plate from? So Hooper pulled out a lot of stuff, some dead fish, mostly dead fish, and like, some digested, some undigested. But he also pulled out a license plate. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you've never seen the movie, it's a true thing. It's a fact. So what state was that license plate from? Was it A, Alabama? Was it B, Louisiana? C, Texas? Or was it D, Georgia? Georgia on my mind. All right, what does Andrew say about great white sharks? He says great white sharks attack people in scuba gear because they look like seals, which great whites love to eat. That is true.
Yes. People also
What?
need to be careful on surfboards from above when they're paddling.
Yes.
They also look like a seal.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. They are also attracted to the movements of people when they kind of like flop around in the water like fish, because they actually do have some kind of, I forget what it's called. It's not echolocation like dolphins, but they do have some kind of sensory thing built into their head where they can actually sense prey and distress through some kind of like filaments or something in their heads. I used to love reading about sharks. It's been forever since I've caught up, and I might be botching some of the facts, but I remember watching a documentary. I think it might have been like during a Shark Week or something like that, where they actually made these, I think they might have been either styrofoam or wood boards, where they would tow them behind a boat while they're slowly moving. And those were in the shape, they were black in the shape of like a baby seal or something like that. So it would attract sharks, and then they would get them captured on film jumping out of the water and grabbing the target as it was hunting its prey.
No way.
It is incredible to
Whoa.
see something like that. Yeah. And sometimes they even film it in like slow motion, and you get to see like everything it does. It literally does roll its eyes back and everything. And you get to see the black eyes, the doll's eyes that Quint is talking about, and all the rows of teeth in their mouth. It's nightmarish. It makes you really
they're
afraid
a
of
killing
being in the
machine.
water. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Oh no, Patricia. Astrology shark do. There was a part of me, and I'm sorry, folks, I will get to the answer in just a moment, and of course your questions, but there was a part of me that wondered how long we would make it into this episode without somebody going baby shark on us. And thank you, Patricia, for taking us there. Now it's going to take me the entire episode to get that out of my head.
It's so catchy. It's yeah.
It is. Okay, so on with the guesses. We have Patricia saying B ? That's her guess. Leanne says A, Alabama. So B is Louisiana was the first guess. A is Alabama. Oh, look, I did that A for Alabama. Andrew says B ? We have A's and B's so far. Jason is guessing B. Expedition Steve is guessing A. We got a lot of A's and B's here, folks. You're in the right area. Jason says, I cheated and looked it up. Oh, great. I'm just like blindly checking comments here and just throwing them up screen. I probably should have waited for that one. All right, so I guess we could just go ahead and go straight to the answer. The
I have a
answer
guess.
is,
Oh,
oh,
shoot.
sorry, it's B. I
No,
figured
no, mine
because
was
you cheated and
Texas.
looked it
So,
up.
nope, I was wrong.
You were not going to guess B?
Nope, nope, I did
Okay.
Texas.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Oh, always. Yeah.
So yeah, the joke was when he was cutting the shark open, Martin Brody was already drunk because he was drinking wine even before they went to go cut open the shark. And he jokingly said when he pulled out the license plate, he's like, "The shark eat a car?" And Hooper just kind of chuckles and he's like, "No, probably came like it probably washed down from a river from southern waters or something like that." And so
Cool.
yeah, tiger shark's like a garbage disposal; it'll eat anything. That's what Hooper said in reference to tiger shark. So
So that was
yeah,
improv?
no, I don't think it was improv. No,
Oh,
it
okay.
was just, but he laughed. I think just because it was Brody being funny, like, did it eat a
Yeah.
car? Like, no, of course, shark didn't eat a car. But apparently, he just picked stuff up. It probably picked it up because I imagine it was like a lure. It's probably saw it in the ocean because it washed down from a river. It was metal, it was shiny, and it like, whoa,
Shiny,
look,
yeah.
food, like a fish. You know what I mean? Sharks
Yeah.
are fish, so I'm guessing it has similar behaviors as fish do as well.
You know, it's really interesting. Just a little bit of a segue. I went snorkeling in the Florida Keys, and I had a ring on my finger, and they said we have barracudas in this area, and they said just fish in general. They said for carnivorous fish, they said always take your jewelry off because they will just go and bite your finger off or
Oh,
attack you
wow.
when they see something shiny. Yeah, so
Never
fun
thought
fact.
about that before. Yeah, that is interesting. I never
Mhm.
heard that before. I've been scuba diving before. I went once off Catalina Island, and I did actually see barracuda. Now, I did
Yeah,
not have any jewelry on. I did not have anything shiny on me. I think I was wearing all black, wetsuit, and of course my mask and my fins, everything was black. And it
smart.
just those things are terrifying looking.
Oh, they're so scary. Yes, I jumped in the water and right away to my left, there was one just like 3 feet from me, and I saw its big, angry looking eye and teeth. I'm like, hello. I was like, you're
Yeah,
not part of the tour. I was like, you don't care
even
that
with
I'm
yeah, even with their mouths closed, you can still see all the fangy teeth that they have. They look like vampire fish, and they're long and skinny. And
they dart fast in the
yes,
water.
they're very quick. They're sleek and fast, and they're big too. I think the one that I saw I would say it was at least like 3 or 4 feet long.
Same.
Not a small fish.
Nope.
So yeah, and what's funny is that since you bring up barracuda, there is a line in the movie that the word barracuda is used, and it's when Brody and Hooper go and they talk to the mayor and they try to convince him to close the beaches and hire shark experts and hunters to get this thing right and make sure that nobody dies anymore. And the mayor walks up to Brody and he's like, "Martin, listen, you yell barracuda, everybody goes, huh? What? You yell shark, and we got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July."
I remember that.
But I'm like, you know what? You yell barracuda, I'm still getting out of the water. Those things are
Like, I
scary
don't think
looking.
people know exactly what they're talking. Like,
I
that thing
know.
is terrifying.
I wouldn't want to go swimming with a barracuda either. I mean, definitely not with a shark either. Although in a controlled environment, I'd be fine with it. Like if I ever got a chance to go shark, like cage diving or whatever you call it, I would love to do that someday.
Me too, actually. That's one of
Really?
my
You would do
bucket
that
lists.
too?
I
Awesome.
wanna
That is so
I wanna
neat.
go off I've actually this is my one of my bucket lists. I want to go off the coast of Australia during great white shark mating season, and you can do the cage, and they're just jumping all around.
Oh, down to the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, I think it would be
Ah.
really fun and scary, but like I would want somebody in the cage with me. I couldn't do it alone. Yeah.
Hey, Steve, be nice. He says Signs is a loser. Come on now. This is a family show. Although, you know what? This is wild card, so you just go ahead and fling them. They're friends. I know. I'm just joking around, but I had to throw it up there because why not? Andrew says the lateral line is a nerve that for fish serves to pick up vibration and sound waves because they can't actually hear. Oh, and he references earlier the
Oh.
part of the shark anatomy that you're referring to is called a lateral line. So I guess when I was talking about that they can, sense other things in distress or whatever, that's what he was
Yeah.
talking about as well. So thank you, Andrew, for the fish
Thanks,
knowledge.
Andrew.
And you know what? I should have had him on this episode. He knows about fish.
Andrew, jump on. Just join the show.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. If he was not busy, I would have just said like, yeah, come on, you can actually give us all the fish fun facts and everything. So
I love fish fun fact. I love animal fun facts.
Yeah, definitely. All right, more fun facts from Andrew. If you yell guppy with enough fervor, you can still create a panic. Are they ill-tempered guppies?
Oh
Patricia says, we have a fairly large aquarium in our area, and they're quick about labeling the dents/bites in the shark tanks. They're quick about labeling them. What does that mean? I don't quite get that.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that either.
Maybe because they think that the sharks are going to try to escape? I don't know.
They're quick about labeling. Like they know which shark bit something because of like the teeth dent in it. Like they can identify the shark.
I mean, I do know that is how they identify most marine life, is they will actually like check the dorsal fin or other fins on their bodies to help identify like who they are, and of course if they're able to tag them, then they can identify them that way as well.
That makes sense.
Oh, she says a shark rammed the acrylic here. Wow, that's insane.
Whoa.
Now, that never happened in the first movie, but it did happen in Jaws 3D, which is one of my guilty pleasures. I know it was a horrible movie. It was not the best in the world.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it was actually made to be shown in 3D. The 3D effects were atrocious.
Yes.
I mean, this was back when 3D was literally, taking an object and just doing this. And then, putting the red and blue filters on the screen
with the paper,
yes.
like part, yeah,
and the cellophane on the paper. Yeah, it was horrible. Back then, it was fun because it was new technology and it was interesting and new. But now you look back nowadays and you're like, oh my god, 3D is not what it used to be. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, in Jaws 3, there was one of the killer shark of the movie gets into a lagoon area where this sea world, this version of Sea World exists, and there's an underwater viewing area where the shark comes up and smashes into the glass. And I think pretty much ever since that, almost every movie that has a shark in it has a scene where it's gonna smash the glass. I mean, there was, oh my gosh,
it's so good.
Deep Blue Sea.
Meg.
The
Deep
Meg.
Blue Sea. Yep.
Yep. And I'm probably missing like one or two others. I've never seen like the 47 meter down movies that have all the sharks in them either. But
that one was actually really good.
Like was it really?
Yeah, that was one of the better ones with Mandy Moore, the first one. I think you and Lisa would enjoy that.
Jason says sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
Is that from the movie?
It's from Austin Powers. That's a Dr. Evil line.
Oh, I don't remember that. I love those movies, but I don't remember.
He's like, I have one request, people. That is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. But evidently my cycloptic colleagues informs me that that's not possible. Can you inform me what I pay you people for? I mean, really? What do we have? So, yeah, sorry. Very, very quotable movie. And one of the movies that I actually watched and I never actually liked at first, but I kind of grew to like it. So,
oh, it's one of those like it's so ridiculous, it's lovable.
Jesus Christ. Andrew, no, there will never be an episode of Sharknado. He says he will join us when we do an episode on Sharknado. I have never seen an episode of Sharknado. I have not seen one out of, I don't even know how many there have been. I can't believe there is as big a following for Sharknado as there is.
But is that called a cult classic? Like,
sure. Yeah,
I've never watched it. It's not my cup of tea.
I mean, what's crazy is that, like, yeah, it's either you love it or you hate it. And I've never even seen a clip, but just the title alone is enough for me just to go, no, sorry, not going to do it. That is
Yeah.
also the reason I have never seen snakes on a plane.
I saw that one when it came out, and you were not missing anything.
Okay,
It's
good.
terrible.
All right.
Yep.
I mean, and you know what's funny is that we're talking about snakes on a plane. Samuel L. Jackson was also in Deep Blue Sea. He didn't last very long.
Oh yeah,
And
he was.
the shark actually killed him while he was monologuing. Best scene in the movie.
I
He's
thought
like
the movie was
lecturing
actually pretty
everybody.
scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was lecturing everybody on what we're going to do to stay alive. And right in the middle of his speech, shark comes out of the moon pool, chomps him, takes him down. Done.
Yes. And you just don't see it coming.
No, didn't see it coming at all. I mean, he was standing right by the water, so you thought something might happen, but then it just happens before you think it's going to happen, and bam. You're like, ah!
Yeah. I bet Samuel L. Jackson liked that scene. Like, I could see him being like, yeah.
Yeah. Patricia says it's more like scratches, but you can tell the sharks are annoyed. The all-you-can-eat bar is covered. Love the jokes. Andrew's saying I was at ILM when Deep Blue Sea was in post-production. I remember that scene. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's a great, I like that movie. The acting is like, there's some acting that's kind of like, but in general, it's fun to watch. It's a good way to just kill like maybe an hour and 40 minutes of your life if you're just up for some nonsensical adventure and horror.
Yeah. I will never forget. I was so taken aback when the main girl died, when she was like floating in the water and just, it's like,
oh
whoa.
yeah, I know. Yeah. Didn't expect that to happen, but she was kind of a bad guy in that.
I forget that. Yeah.
She was the one experimenting on these sharks when she really should not have been. I mean, they were pissed. Those sharks were mad. Those sharks were mad.
Had it coming. I'd watch it again and see it from that viewpoint.
Yep. All right, I got to get back to more questions here because we still got a few more to cover. This show might go a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm having fun. All right.
This is fun.
Next question is, what fear does Chief Brody have? This one's kind of easy. Is it A, a fear of sharks? Is it B, a fear of water? Is it C, a fear of dead fish, which he sees a lot of in the movie? Or is it D, a fear of boats? Put your answers in the comments section. I'd be kind of curious to see what you guys think. I feel like this one's kind of an easy one. Do you remember, Leia? Do you want to gander a guess at which one it is?
Jason, I'm so bad at names. Which one is Chief Brody?
Oh, Chief Brody. He's like our hero, basically.
He's the main guy, right?
Yeah, he's the one that kills the shark.
Okay, smile, you son of a. Okay,
smile, you son of a bitch. Yeah, we can. It's okay. We're going off track here today, so it's okay.
Okay, I like it.
We're not going to start dropping F-bombs or anything like that.
No.
It's a line from the movie, so it's acceptable.
You know, Jason, actually, this is a good one. I'm stuck between two, so.
Which ones are you thinking?
Oh my gosh, no, this is good. I'm stuck between three of them. Definitely not dead fish, but my top two guesses would be A and D, but I'm also thinking B, so I don't.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, I'm glad I stumped somebody.
You did. I'm gonna say B or D.
B or D. Okay. Well, you got to choose one.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's afraid of the water.
Okay, you're saying B. All right. Patricia's saying A, afraid of sharks. Now, I think at the end of the movie, he is definitely afraid of sharks, or maybe even at the beginning. I don't know, but that is a logical answer. Leanne is saying A, afraid of sharks. Steve is saying B, afraid of water. He's going with your guess, Leia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andrew says E, film directors. Yeah, probably, especially after the end of this movie. And then Jason is saying B, water. So good guesses, everybody. And you know what? I had fun creating answers for this one because it was either going to be dead fish or vampires. I was going to have that be one of the guesses. But I'm like, no, that's just too crazy. So the answer for those who guessed B, water, is correct. So you guessed correctly. Good for you. Yeah. It's when I think it's really kind of explained. You kind of see hints of it throughout the movie, but it is explained when Chief Brody and his wife are sitting at dinner and Mr. Hooper comes in and he brings the wine and starts eating their food, which is another hilarious scene, by the way. He's like, is anybody going to eat that? And he just starts eating their food.
I remember that.
Yeah. And his wife is Martin's wife is explaining, he's like, yeah, Martin doesn't even step foot in a boat, he doesn't like to even, go on the beach or anything like that, and she's like,
Mhm.
there's a clinical name for it, I think, isn't it? And then Martin says, yeah, drowning. Like, yes, that is the technical term for it. So yeah,
That's
he is
funny.
afraid of water, and even before he actually went on the Orca, he'd never even steered a boat in his life. He even said that as one of the lines in there. So,
Good
congratulations
character
on
development.
yeah, congratulations on all those who answered B. You guessed correctly. He's a fear of water. Although at the end of the movie, he's actually not too bad because he's swimming in the water by that point, but then he also got the shark, and then
Yeah.
he makes the joke to Hooper because Hooper survives with them, and they paddle into shore on those barrels and a piece of driftwood from the Orca. And he's like, I used to be afraid of water. And Hooper says, I can't imagine why.
Oh my god, that's
And that was
classic.
like the very last line of the movie. Just, such a great movie. Even though I just watched this like a week ago, I want to go and watch it again. So awesome.
Wanting to watch it, just hearing all about this, yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, next question. What holiday does the movie revolve around? Now, I kind of spoiled this a little bit earlier. I did mention it in a line. So if you were paying attention, then you may have already heard the answer. But the options that I'm giving you, everybody, is A, is it Memorial Day? A, Memorial Day. B, President's Day. C, Independence Day. Or D, Veterans Day. So give me your answers in the comments section. Let me know what you think. There is a specific holiday that they're really trying to make sure that they get their tourists in without having any shark problems, and this is the one that actually I think everybody's going to get right. Oh, hey, what's up, Dad? He says, I'm here a lot late dealing with a new sister for Jason.
Hi, Maddie. A dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
I'm so glad you caught on to that because there'd be so many jokes if it was more than just you. Like, Dad, you're too old to have more kids. But yeah, he's getting a new fur baby. So I think,
Oh,
Dad, I think did you pick her up today? I think today was the day. I think that's her gotcha day.
oh,
So
how
if you
cute.
got her, congratulations. I'm waiting for a name. All right, Leia, what's your answer?
Oh, Jason, I'm so torn. I want to say it's Memorial Day, but I could also see it being Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say A.
You're gonna say Memorial Day. That's a good guess because it's a good, kind of like
May.
summerish holiday. When it's warm and stuff like that. Uh, I'm not going to put everybody's answers up because every single person on the chat is guessing C, Independence Day, and you are right. It is
Oh,
C,
that makes
Independence
more
Day. Sorry,
sense.
Leia.
It's a warmer summer day.
Yeah. So the line that I said earlier it was when I was talking about the Barracuda line, and he says, "You yell Barracuda," everybody's like, "Huh? What?" And you yell Shark, then you've got a panic on your hands on the 4th of July.
Oh, that makes sense. 4th of
So
July is so warm and sunny.
yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about the topic of our trivia and not give away questions that I'm going to be asking later, if that makes sense. That is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So, congratulations everybody who guessed and I put Independence Day specifically because I'm like the 4th of July. I could mention the 4th of July, but if I call it Independence Day, maybe it throws people off. But no, you guys are too smart for me. Congratulations. You guys are awesome. He says, "Tell me about it," for his gotcha day. Yeah, for his new sibling. And then he says, "Emma dog, Emma. Wait a
Oh, that's
second. You're
cute.
naming her Emma after Dad wrote a book called Emma's Angel, and I'm assuming that is what you're naming her after. And if that's so, I am so happy to hear that. That is so sweet. I love it. Is that final? You got to
So
let me know if
sweet.
it's final or not. That's such a sweet name." And then Patricia says, just realized the tech now exists for a Jaws drone show instead of fireworks. That could be fun and terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
I wonder if they could fly low enough on the water where they could actually create like a fin and then, it like all the other drones light up and makes it look like the shark is coming out of the water. That'd be neat.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's a show I would watch.
Oh, yeah.
Patricia says, oh, Emma's a good name. It is a good name. I like it. It's very sweet. Alrighty. Next question. Oh, let's get rid of the chat there really quick. What does Matt Hooper, excuse me, who does Matt Hooper work for? Is it A, the Oceanographic Institute, B, the Marine Life Center, C, the Institute of Oceanic Research, or is it D, SeaWorld?
SeaWorld.
Well, I mentioned in Jaws 3, there is a SeaWorld in that movie, so it's,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, and I guess anything's possible, but yeah, you're kind of correct to laugh at that
Yeah,
one.
because he's so
uh,
smart.
Odie says, Emma was a dog we had before. This one's name is Emma Dog. Okay, so it's going to be Emma Dog. Okay, all right. That's fair enough. I like it. I can dig it. Andrew is giving his usual E answer, saying Juilliard's School of Dance. Yes, this is how they teach sharks to people, by dancing, interpretive shark dancing.
I could have seen him being a dancer in his off time. He was quirky enough for that.
He kind of was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was rich too, because when Brody and him went out on the boat to look for they after they cut open the wrong shark, they went out on a boat to see if they could find the shark
yeah.
while he's
Yep.
feeding at night. It's his whole territoriality, speech that he gives during the movie. And Brody asks him, like, oh, who pays for all this stuff? And he's like, well, me mostly. He's like, what, are you rich? And he's all, yeah. So anyway, let's go to the chat and find out what kind of answers we got for real answers only. Come on, guys. Jason says C, the Institute of Oceanic Research. Leanne says C as well.
That's
Very
my guess.
clever name. Is that your guess too?
Yeah.
Okay. Patricia's saying fins up, fins down. Now shake.
Is that from something?
That's the dance. That's the interpretive dance. Yeah. I got it. Usually I'm like, wait, what? No, but I kind of got that one. That one's
Shake your
clever.
tail fin.
Yes. No more guesses? Come on, you guys. Multiple choice. Pick one. C. Everybody's getting tired of the trivia at this point, so they're just guessing C for everything. All right. Well, the correct answer is actually A, the Oceanographic Institute. And he only mentions it once. He says, my name is Matt Hooper. I'm from the Oceanographic Institute. Oh, you're the guy we called. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, C sounded more realistic. Good job.
I made that up.
It sounds more legit, honestly.
And it may have been used in some other movies. I mean, hell, for all I know, it might have been used in even like Finding Nemo or something like that. But or Finding Dory.
I love that movie.
There was an oceanographic sort of aquarium there that they ended up at. So, all right. Next question. What is the first name of the mayor of Amity Island? Is it A, Harry? Is it B, Martin? Is it C, Michael? Or is it D, Larry? It's Larry the Lobster. I think this one, I also mentioned his real name earlier during our discussion of the movie, and I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but I feel like they do mention his name quite a bit. So, do you remember what his name is?
No.
No? I can tell you that all of those names are actual characters in the movie.
Okay. I have a guess.
Okay. Fire away.
Now I'm doubting myself.
Well, there's Andrew's answer.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's Larry. Curly. Hey, look at Sherlock.
God, the Three Stooges is in my heart. We should do that on a second Tuesday sometime. Oh.
Well, that one, Andrew, I'm sure will definitely be a part of, because Three Stooges, Marx Brothers, all those kind of like older comedies. I think he's definitely on board for something like that. Andrew, you can confirm for
Laurel
sure.
And Hardy.
Sure you'd be down for that. Yeah, I never watched as much Laurel and Hardy, but I did watch a lot of Abbott and Costello.
I never saw that one. I saw more Laurel and Hardy. But
Okay.
I've heard Abbott and Costello was really good.
Oh
Jason,
yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna go with B. Martin.
B. Martin. Okay. All right. All right. So we got Leanne saying B. Martin as well. So she agrees
Oh,
with you.
okay.
Steve says D. Larry. Jason says D. Larry. Patricia says D. Larry. And Odie says just Larry. He didn't put the letter. Letter only, Dad. You don't have to type out the whole thing. Trying to make it easy for everybody. And if you guessed D. Larry, you are 100%
Way to go,
correct.
guys.
Yep, his name is Larry Vaughn. He is the president of Amity Island and also the local realtor, which we talked about a little bit earlier as well. Alrighty, next question. What type of knot does Quint ask Koopa to tie for him?
Oh, that was good.
Is it A, a foursquare, B, a sheepshank, C, a bowline, or D, clove hitch? Those are all real knots, by the way.
Mm. Hey, while people are guessing, can I tell a fun shark fact?
Yeah.
Okay. There are only a few animals that made it past the dinosaur era that lived with dinosaurs. The great white shark is one of them. It was so perfectly like perfectly carnivorous and predator, it didn't have to evolve and change. It made it. And it's one of the only living dinosaur era animals, and so is the crocodile.
Yes, that's right. One of the
Yep.
oldest living. Yeah, and I've heard that before too. I will back you up on that. And I think even Hooper makes like kind of a comment about that. He's like, what we have here is like an evolutionary miracle, an eating machine, if you will, or something like that. He actually
Oh
talks
yeah,
about
there you go.
the fact of how old sharks really are. And even Brody does, because he does all the research on sharks and he tries to find out like more about them. And, when he brings this knowledge to the mayor, when he urges him to close the beach, but then of course the mayor, all he's worried about is vandalized billboards and how it's going to affect all their businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the
Shellfish.
answers. Andrew is saying E, a shoelace. No, it's not a shoelace. I don't even think Hooper actually had shoelaces in that. I think he wore like those little dock shoes, those little dock shoes that you can wear that are just slip-ins. So yeah, that wasn't it. Odie says C, a bowline. Patricia says C, a bowline. Steve says B, a sheepshank. Leanne says C, a bowline. Bowline seems to be very popular. Did you guess yet, or are you still trying to think?
No, I was gonna guess the clove hitch. I don't know
The
why that
clove
sounded
hitch.
cool.
All right. Well, for those of you who guessed B, a sheepshank, that is the correct answer.
Oh.
So yeah, Quint thinks that Hooper's been he's got city hands and he's been counting money all his life, and he asked him to tie a sheepshank for him so he can try to determine if he's seaworthy or not, I guess, and to bring him on as a he says we'll bring him for ballast is what he says. That's the only reason he asked Hooper to come along. But I don't know. I think he had other motives because I think Quint and Hooper kind of got along after a certain point.
Yeah.
There was sort of like that
Respect
guy,
here.
those guy moments, like even the moment when they're on the boat and Quint is drinking the beer and he drinks it and he's got the beer foam on his mustache and then he crushes the can with his hand.
Oh
And then
yeah, yeah.
Hooper, he finishes drinking probably like his cup of water and it's in a plastic cup and he crushes it as well to show how manly he is too. I mean,
Yeah,
so many
I love
wonderful
that.
scenes. Next question. All right, this one's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time on this one because there is actually some thinking involved in this. How many people does Jaws kill? The actual shark, Jaws, how many people does he kill? Is it A, 5, B, 7, C, 6, or D, 4? Now, you're going to have to think about the movie. You're going to have to think about the order of people dying and like which ones they were, what characters, if they were regular characters, not regular characters. Add it up in your head and give me your answer in the comments section. Oh my God. Andrew says the Sheepshank Redemption. I can't. I just can't. Yeah, and Steve loves that one. That's a good one. I mean, sure. We'll give that one to you, Andrew. Let's see. Dad says mackerel sharks were around the dinos too. Oh, okay. We used
Oh,
to go
that's
fishing
cool.
for mackerel off the coast of Santa Barbara all the time.
Are they
Mackerel and
pretty
bonita,
safe
I
sharks?
think. Oh wait, mackerel sharks. Oh, okay, I don't know if I've ever seen a mackerel shark
I
before.
haven't either. I don't know. I don't know what that
I
one is
would,
like.
I might guess it's a predatory shark and not necessarily a one that just kind of
Like
is
a
a bottom
nursing
feeder or
shark or
whatever.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Those are the ones that seem to survive the longest. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, says the museum docent. That's right. He is actually a docent of the Europa Mountain Museum, Discovery Museum, maybe? Am I pronouncing that right, Dad? Europa? I think that's right. I didn't know they had information about sharks there, though, because it's a museum in the desert. All right, here come the guesses. Leanne is saying D4. Steve is saying A5. Odie is saying A. He's saying 5 and a dog. Okay, all right. Well, Dad, the answer was how many people. So, yes, we know that the dog does go disappearing, but we never actually see what happens to the dog. We just assume that the shark got him. We'll talk about that in a second. Patricia's saying A5. Andrew is saying E, everyone except James Bond.
My
What?
answer is A5 that I
Now,
counted in my
see,
head.
okay, your answer is A5. Okay, so now, Andrew, if you would have said everyone except for Chuck Norris, I think that would have been a much better
Oh,
answer
that
because
would have been perfect.
Jaws can't kill Chuck Norris, right? Come on. I think that would have been a much better answer. All right, but that's just me. Jason is saying C, 6. And the correct answer for those of you who guessed 5 is correct. All right. Let's
Jason, can
break
I
it
go through it?
down. Oh,
Can
yeah.
I go through
Go
it?
for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The girl in the beginning, the beach.
Chrissy. Yep.
Um, the guy that the two of them found in the dark, he was like in the dark with a boat on by the dock.
Yeah, it's Ben Gardner. Yeah, that was his
Oh,
boat that got destroyed when they found him at night.
yep. And then the little boy. And then
Yes, Alex
there was
Kittner.
somebody else that died on the beach, and I forgot who it was, but there was just another person that died. And then
Okay, we
Quint.
can come back to that a little bit later. And then Quint. That's correct.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say, oh my God, I tell people, is there any scene in a movie that you literally physically cannot handle watching because it looks like you're watching a real life death? For me, it's Quint. When
Oh,
Jaws
yeah.
comes up and is biting the boat and his feet are slipping on his mouth, and when Jaws finally bite, I can't. When I was little, I started crying because I was so sad for his death, and I can't watch it
Yeah.
to this day. It's too real.
Well,
Like,
and the crazy part is
oh,
that death scene was done with multiple cuts, no pun intended.
yeah.
But they showed him like falling, sliding, turning around, grabbing Brody's hand, losing
Oh,
his grip,
so bad.
and then struggling to grab things as he turns around and sees himself falling towards the shark. And then when you
Yeah.
cut to his face and you hear the crunch
And you see
and you
blood coming out
see,
of his mouth.
yeah, and you see him just like that like guttural scream that he
It's too
does.
real.
Oh, it's intense. Robert
Yeah.
Shaw, fantastic actor in that movie. I actually had never seen him in anything else before, or even after, as
Yeah.
far as I know.
Yeah,
So,
I remember in that scene, even when I was little, I wanted to kill Jaws so bad for hurting a person like that. I like saw red. I wanted to like take a knife to that shark. Ooh,
oh,
okay.
Andrew. Oh, okay, Andrew. I get it now. So he was thinking of Richard Keel, and for those who don't know who Richard Keel is, he is the guy who played the villain Jaws in the James Bond movies that starred Roger Moore. He was like a recurring character. So, and the
Oh,
reason they
okay,
called him
okay.
Jaws is because he had solid metal teeth. Yeah. So
Jeez.
I get it. I get it now. I'm sorry I didn't get the reference. Shame on me. You can talk to me about it later.
Felicia
Bad
Grimm.
bad host. Bad host. Okay. Oh, and so to go back to the guy that you were trying to remember that was the other victim, the fifth one that you couldn't think of.
Yeah.
I don't think he really had a name, but when they opened the beaches. They had the shark tower. They had the helicopters and the boats, and then the net line outside of the beach so the shark couldn't get through. And then the kids played the prank with the cardboard fin. It
That
got
was it.
everybody. It got everybody out of the water enough so that the shark could go into the pond. And the pond is where Michael and his friends were trying to sail a boat. But then there was a guy that came up in a rowboat saying, "Hey guys, haul in the sheet. You guys need any help? What's going on over there?" And the shark hit his boat. He fell in the water. Shark ate him, and
Yeah.
that's what Michael, who is Brody's son, Chief Brody's son, he went into shock because of what he saw, and they had to rush him to the hospital. So yeah, he was
Oh,
the other victim that
yeah.
we were trying to think of.
Yep.
And yeah, Odie says Pippet was the dog. That's right. Yeah, so he's on the beach and he's playing fetch with his dog, and he's like, Pippet, Pippet, and like, no, sorry, Pippet is now Shark Chow. So
Shark bait. Ooh, haha.
yeah, that's right. Pippet, shark bait. Ooh, ha ha. Let's see what Patricia's saying here. Corey and I were in one of the last groups to ride Jaws ride at Universal. Oh my God, I would have loved
Oh,
to have
fun.
more time to talk about that ride. I love that ride. But we had a hilarious, totally indifferent tour guide. Guy went, "Oh, no, a shark," and aimed the rifle behind his back.
Oh my God.
That is, I would
So
love
done
to
with
be
his job.
I would love to be a tour guide on that. I mean, that
Me
was so
too.
fun. Now I know she's talking about the one. I'm pretty sure, Patricia. I'm guessing you're talking about the one in Florida because that's the one that is no longer there. They took it out, but they do still have the Jaws attraction at Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Sure do. I've seen it
Yeah.
twice. It's so fun.
Have you been to Universal Studios Hollywood before?
Twice,
You've
yes.
been there, but you've never been to Disneyland.
It's true. Yes,
Give me your hand. Bad co-host.
yes,
Bad
co-host it. I'm gonna go with you and Lisa. That's why it hasn't happened yet.
I know. We'll get you there eventually. But yeah, that's an amazing park. I've been going to Universal since I was a wee lad, and they have changed so much there, and they're still adding things. And one of my favorite attractions remains the Backlot Tour, which of course has the Jaws attraction on there. And the
Oh,
shark
it's incredible.
unrealistically jumps out of the water and scares people with its bursts of air and water at the same time. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's fun. It's great. It's
So
fun for a
fun.
little scare. Local fisherman Ben Gardner. Yes, he's the one that died in the boat. Ben Gardner. I think I did say Ben Gardner. And if I said it wrong, my bad.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, Patricia's saying it's gone now. Harry Potter is in its place. That's right. Yeah, I think at Universal that because that ride was at Universal Studios, and Universal Studios is now home to, I think it's Hogwarts and is it Diagon Alley? And then at the other park or
Yeah,
no,
it's
I'm
so
thinking
fun.
Islands of, yeah, it's either Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade. They have both of those at the parks out there. And now, of course, they have the Ministry of Magic at the new Epic Universe Park, which I am dying to go see. But anyway, I digress. We still got questions. Let's get to them, shall we? All righty. Getting close to the end here. How much is the original bounty for the shark? Is it A, $10,000? B, $5,000? I feel like this is The Price is Right. C, $3,000? Or D, $2,000? Put your guesses in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Just the letter only. Leia.
B.
Guesses? B, 5,000.
B for bounty.
B for bounty.
That's
Now,
what I would guess. I don't know. Maybe.
As a reminder, this is the bounty that Mrs. Kittner put up personally for people to hunt down and kill the shark because the shark killed her little boy. So I don't know if that may make you rethink your answer or maybe other people re-guess or something like that. But
Yeah, I don't think she'd have $5,000. I'm thinking out loud. I don't know the answer, folks. So
yeah,
don't
no, it's
listen to
fine.
me.
Hey, guess is a guess. That's what trivia is all about, right? Just got to pick one. Go with it.
I'm jumping to C. No, I don't
Andrew,
think she'd have that much money.
Andrew says E, $2. I know the reference. Do you know the reference, Leia?
$2. No, what was that from? It
You
sounds
ever seen the
familiar.
You ever seen the movie Better Off Dead?
No,
With
no, I haven't.
Okay, with John Cusack.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the actor, but no.
Oh yeah. This is from it's a Savage Steve Holland movie. Who I think who also did the movie One Crazy Summer that John Cusack also did as well. Very, very kind of like obscure, oddball, out of left field, breaking fourth wall comedy movie about a guy who tries to ski this incredibly difficult, hill to win over the affection of a girl, but ends up falling in love with somebody else. And it's such wackadoo comedy. But there
I
is
love
this,
Fourth Wall. Yeah.
yeah, there is this one guy that there's this kid that comes by to collect the paper route that delivers the paper all the time. And he's a really tough kid. And he wears all black and a dark gray beanie. It's time to collect $2. And that becomes kind of the running joke throughout the movie because this kid is always chasing him, trying to get his $2 collection for the paper routes.
$2
$2.
to
So
watch that.
put it on your watch list. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so funny. All right. Answers coming in. We've got Steve saying B, 5,000. Odie is saying C, 3,000. Andrew changed his answer from E, $2 to saying B, 5,000. And Odie also says, "Cool shirt. Thank you very much. It's my nautical theme for this episode. This is actually a shirt from Finding Nemo, which I will tell you a fun little fact about that in just a moment for those who may not know.
I'm gonna
But
stick with B.
You're gonna stick with B? Okay.
Yeah.
Leanne is saying D, 2,000. We're kind of all over the map, but I like this. And yeah, Jason says, "I want my $2." That is definitely a line from the kid. All right. Some really nice Beskar if you put it in carbon. Oh my God. I don't know what that reference came from, but maybe it was. I mean, that I know Beskar is the armor from the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and everything, and carbonite, of course, is what Han was frozen in.
Oh, yep.
I just don't quite understand the reference to what we were just talking about because we derailed a few times, so I apologize, Patricia. But you got Andrew to laugh about it. All right, so we got quite a lot of answers. We got B, we got D. I think B and D were kind of like the most common answers, but I think also Dad guessed C. Did I get one other C in there? No, he's the only one that guessed C. And Dad, guess what? You are correct. The original bounty requested to kill the shark was $3,000, and then that's the scene where Quint introduces himself. He actually does the nails on the chalkboard thing to get everybody's attention because they're arguing about closing the beaches and all that kind of stuff, and talks about the bounty on the shark. And somebody even makes a joke. He's like, "Is that 3,000 bounty for the shark in cash or check?" And everybody's like, "Ha ha ha." So yeah, and then Quint says, "I value my neck a lot more than $3,000, Chief. I'll find him for 3, but I'll catch him and kill him for 10." Which is why I put $10,000 as an answer.
Oh, that was good. I like the add-on in there.
Yep. Love that. All right, cool. All right, we've got about maybe I think about 3 more questions left, and then we'll probably put it a close because we've talked a lot about Jaws. We've covered almost the entire movie so far. There's still a lot more though.
It's worth it. Yeah. Oh,
There's
Jaws.
so much more. Do you think you'll ever watch the second or the third one? I think you said you did watch the second one, right?
I watched the second one when I was a kid, and actually, I don't know, Jaws going into SeaWorld, I think I need to watch that now. Like, that sounds kind of really fun.
And Dennis Quaid is actually in that movie, and
I love him.
Yeah, and Louis Gossett Jr. is in it too. Very popular actor from the 80s. And I can't remember the gal who plays Dennis Quaid's, I think, wife. But Dennis Quaid actually plays the older son, Michael, in that movie. And, he actually works at SeaWorld, and his little brother comes to visit. And, of course, they have a shark issue again.
Fun. Hey, fun question, just real quick. Did anybody ever see Dennis Quaid in the 80s movie Dreamscape?
I love that movie.
Oh, that's so cool. That is the best dream movie I've ever seen.
So you want to talk about something that freaks me out? The Snake Man freaked me the hell out.
Oh, yeah. On the stairs.
Yes. And just the transformation scene, I know it was very like old school FX claymation, probably, the way that they transformed him,
I get it.
but I loved the movie. It was such a
Me
neat
too.
concept. And I mean, him being able just to jump into other people's dreams and the plot of the movie to jump into the president's dream to kill him within his dream so he dies in real life. I mean,
Yep.
that it was just crazy. So
I
yeah,
actually think they should remake that movie. They're remaking so many movies. That one, people wouldn't know what it came from. Like, it'd be
I'd
pretty
be
rare.
okay with that one.
Me
Yeah,
too.
because they could do so many things. I mean, one of the things that I loved about the movie It is that it had such nightmarish properties with a lot of the scenes from the clown, and he would transform into all these
Yeah.
things that manifested into your real life fears. And I would look at these scenes and go like, "Oh my god, I would really have nightmares about
Yes.
these things that he's transforming into, giant spiders and decrepit old people with like, diseased looking faces and creepy old ladies with long faces and
I would say even the painting, how it came to life. It's like,
oh
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yep.
about, the ladies with the long faces
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, she was creepy as heck.
Yep.
And oh, and I forgot to talk about my reference. I'm going to go back to the shirt because I said there was actually a little bit of an Easter egg from Finding Nemo that relates to Jaws. Do you know what that is?
Does it have
Think of
anything to do with Bruce?
Oh, absolutely.
When he says, "Ooh, that's good," and his eyes roll back and they get black. No, that's just something natural a shark
It's
does.
just something that happens. It actually has to do with his name.
Bruce?
Absolutely.
No, I don't know.
No?
No.
So, if you watch the documentary or have seen any other fun facts about Jaws, the mechanical shark that kept breaking down all the time, his name was Bruce.
What? No way. That's awesome. My brother
See?
Matthias would have known that.
Yeah,
Would know
Andrew
that.
says, I know. Yeah, I know you know, Andrew. And another additional fact, which I know he's probably typing feverishly on his phone right now, is that the name Bruce was actually, I think, Steven Spielberg. I may be giving the person's name wrong, the person's lawyer wrong, but it was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer.
Cool. I love the
Yeah,
name Bruce.
yeah. So, yes, that is cool. I love that. Dreamscape is fantastic. Yes, I actually
Um,
love it too. Fantastic movie. Um, Oh, Jason says, loving your Boston accent. I just want to ask you, say chata, Frenchie. I don't know what that's from. Say chata, Frenchie. Is that close enough? I feel like when I do more of a Bostonian accent, I start sounding more like John F. Kennedy or maybe even the Maya Quimby from The Simpsons. It's kind of how I feel
a
like I
good voice.
sound. Andrew says, I'll have you know I'm on my computer. Okay.
Guys,
I
I'm loving these comments. They're so good. It's really
Yeah,
adding. Thank
this is
you,
this is a great
everyone.
show. This is only like boosting the fact that I know we need to do these kind of episodes every month because
Yeah.
I'm loving the energy. I'm loving how everything is just kind of like rolling on. So all right. And speaking of which, we still got a couple more questions. All right. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw. I did flash the next question on there, but then we kind of got distracted as we usually do. So I took it back to the answer from the previous one. So no cheating. All right. So the next question is, how did Hooper get the first scar that he shows to Quint? So just to kind of set the scene up, you guys remember when they're on the boat, they're all drunk, they're relaxing for the night, and Hooper and Quint start comparing scars, right? Quint talks about like he can't bend his arm out like so far because he got it pulled in a arm wrestling contest and a bunch of other things. But then Hooper's like, oh, I got that beat with everything, right? They try to one up each other on scars. So
Yeah,
what's
I
the
remember.
first scar that he shows to Quint? How did he get that? Is it A, from a moray eel? Is it B, from a bull shark? Is it C, a thresher shark? Or is it D, a coral reef? This one's a little
I
tough
have no idea.
because I'll say that 3 of those answers were actual scars discussed in this same scene, but only one of them is correct based on this question. All right, Andrew, what's the E answer? A fencing duel. Ding, ding, ding. You are wrong.
What? What? What do you mean? Uh,
Although, you know what? Because Hooper's a rich kid, who knows? He may have done fencing before. You never know.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh, I love Patricia's answer even better. It's F, a thumb war.
Oh my goodness.
Only after counting 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. All right. Here come the real answers. Odie says B, bull shark. That almost sounds like I'm swearing, doesn't it? B, bull shark for Patricia as well.
Oh yeah.
Leanne says D, the coral reef. Other real answers. Andrew's saying B. I'll say B because Patricia is saying B. Good answer. That's a good way to do it. Okay, Jason is saying Brody. I'm not sure why. Is it Brody's the one that gave him the scar? Maybe. Oh, and Odie says it's from a hickey.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yeah, see, I need to get more clever with my answers. You guys are one-upping me. I feel bad now. All right, I actually don't. I'm just kidding. All right, so for those, did you give an answer?
No, I'm gonna guess C, thresher shark.
Thresher shark. Okay, all right. Well, for those of you who guessed B, a bull shark, you are absolutely correct.
Oh, good job,
So
guys.
when Hooper starts talking about his scars, he talks about probably like the one that has the least amount of effect because he got it from a bull shark, but he says it scraped him while he was taking samples. And I had to think about this one for a while because I kind of went back to my high school oceanography class, which I absolutely loved. It's like one of the only classes I ever aced when I was a teenager. But sharks' scales are actually, they're kind of hooked. And when you
I've
rub a
seen
shark,
that.
yeah, when you rub a shark one way, it's kind of smooth. It still feels sandpapery.
Sandpaper, yep.
Right, but if you rub it the opposite way, it's very, very rough because those hooks kind of like rub against your skin. So it's almost like one of those lint roller things, like if you rub it one way, it's smooth, but if you rub it the other way, it picks up all the cat hair. It's kind of like that, if I'm gonna
You
make
know,
a
it's really
reference.
interesting
Horrible
too.
reference, but a reference.
Oh yeah, cat tongue, yeah. No,
Oh, cat tongue. Yeah,
sharks.
that's right. Yeah.
Their outer, I think they have an exoskeleton, which is an outer skeleton, and I believe that their skin, as we would call it, is actually cartilage or bone.
I don't know about that. We're gonna go to the panel. Andrew, what do you say about that one? Is that
Somebody
true or false?
fact check that for me. It's not skin, or that we would think of.
Yeah. Odie isn't. He's saying shark skin makes pickpocket-proof wallets. That's not a
Hey.
bad idea. But I mean, also, how are you going to get it out of your pocket? Like, if you're wearing like blue jeans or anything with like a fabric material, that's going to be a pain in the butt to get out. It's going to snag on all the fabric as you're pulling it out.
Every time you pull it out, ow!
Yeah. Andrew says, "Gee, Mary Ellen Moffat. That is a clever answer, and it is actually the very last one before they change the conversation because." Hooper is saying, "Okay, I got that all beat. I got it all beat." And he kind of unbuttons his shirt a little bit and he exposes his chest right about here. And he's like, "There, right there." And then Brody's like, "What? You're wearing a sweater?" And he's like, No, right there. Mary Ellen Moffat. She broke my heart." And then he
Oh,
starts
that's
cracking
good.
up because he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. And the other guys laugh too, but I think it's just because of how funny he thinks it is. It's really not the best joke in the world, but the way he laughs at it is priceless. It's such a great scene. And that's right before Quint goes into his Indianapolis speech because Brody asks him, "Hey, what about that one right there?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a tattoo that I got removed." And he's like, let me guess. Mother." And then of course Hooper starts laughing again. And then he's like, "To Hooper, that's the SS Indianapolis." And he goes into his speech. And that, like,
Ah,
I still will say, one of the greatest monologues in cinematic history. So
love me a good monologue.
all right, Odie's saying that their skeleton is cartilage.
Thank you,
Maybe
Odie.
that's
That's
what
what
you're
I
thinking.
thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he says, you slide your hand over the whole thing to pull it out. Okay, yeah. And probably hurt yourself in the process. Is that a real thing? Are you being serious? Like, do they really make shark skin wallets? I've never even heard of that before. You have to let me know if that's a real thing. And I can't even imagine that people would want to buy that because they're like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt a shark," or something like that. There's probably a lot of people
Yeah.
protecting sharks for that.
Yeah.
Andrew's saying, for the record, shark skin is not made of cartilage. Okay, so he's kind of backing that up. The scales are made of the same material as their teeth. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was like, it was cartilage or bone. I couldn't remember. Okay, so they're
Gotcha.
made of bone, kind of like, yeah, it's a
Kind
weird
of.
thing.
Yeah.
Exoskeleton, yeah.
You ever had a shark tooth or held it in your hand or felt how sharp they really are?
No, I've seen them at a museum, but never touched it. Have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, been to Hawaii a few times. They sell them like crazy in the the souvenir shops and stuff like that. I don't know
Oh,
if they're
sure.
real or replicas or whatever, but I've also been to museums where they show you real ones, and you see like the giant megalodon, jaws that are comparing the size of that versus jaws and whatnot.
Yeah.
And a fun fact about great white sharks and other man-eaters like them, they number one is the rows of teeth that they have. You've
Yep.
seen that before, right?
Yep.
So
I think I know the fun fact.
so when one snaps off, another one kind of grows back in its place. And then the fun fact is their teeth are actually serrated. So when they grab their
Yep.
prey, when you see them shake it like this, it is sawing their prey in half so they can bite down, chomp it off, and swallow it. And it's just that whatever chunk they break off that's how it's swallowed. Which is why when Hooper's digging through the dead shark, you actually see some fish that are whole and some fish that are literally just bitten in half. That's it.
My goodness.
My dad has hundreds of them. You got hundreds of shark. I bet you that yours are mostly fossilized, though. Is that correct? You're gonna have to tell me that because I know that you like digging for fossils. So yeah. And he says, "Yep, real thing." Patricia says, "That's
Cool.
wild." And Andrew says, "And yes, shark skin wallets are a real thing." Alrighty, cool.
Love these shark
Confirmation from
facts
both.
we're learning tonight.
I know, right? We should have done this on Shark Week. It would have been like we probably would have gotten a lot more people watching.
Hey, next year, I think this needs to be like a yearly topic. People just love sharks. They're kind of awesome.
Seems to be a thing, doesn't it? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. I love sharks too. They fascinate me.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, let's go on to the next question. I think this is we only got 2 more to go, guys. Appreciate y'all for hanging in there. We actually got a little bit of an audience, and we're an hour and a half in. It's going quick.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yes. All right. Why doesn't Mrs. Kittner want her son Alex to go back into the water? Is it A, because he might get a sunburn? Is it B, because she's afraid of the shark? Is it C, because he's getting pruned fingers? Or is it D, because his raft deflated? What's your thought, Leia?
I'm realizing how much I don't remember from this movie, even though I know a lot of it. Right away, I'm getting his raft deflated.
Put yourself in mom mode. Okay?
He might get a
You're
sunburn.
a mom. You're a mom. You've got a kid. And he's been in the water already, right?
Yeah.
And he comes back and he's like, oh, come on, just 10 more minutes. And why would she not let him go back in the water? That's kind of like the mindset that you kind of have to get in to answer this one properly. Or, of course, you just have to be a freak like me who memorizes all the damn lines from the movie and just knows it instinctively. Odie says, I'm a font of useless trivia. Yeah, I know you are. So am I. Mostly around movies, though, which is pretty much useless information, except for moments like this. So, hey, finally found a use for it.
Take that, life.
I know, right? Yeah. Take that. I like that. Take that, life. Yeah. All right. Steve is saying C because he's getting pruned fingers. No, Dad, it's not because he's peeing in the water, but, good answer. Andrew
That's a dad answer.
Yeah, Andrew says E because it's a mogwai. If you get him in water, he'll start multiplying. Leanne says C because his fingers are getting pruned. And Patricia laughs and guesses A because he might get a sunburn.
That's my guess. He might get a sunburn.
Might get a sunburn. Okay, so we got C because his fingers are getting pruned, and we've also got A because he might be getting a sunburn. And the correct answer, as soon as I clear off the chat here, is she's getting pruned fingers. So for those who guess C, you are absolutely correct. I would never
care about that as a mom. I'd be like, good for you. Make them prunier. It means you're having fun in the water.
I mean, that's true, but I am not kidding you. That is a real thing that moms cared about at least when I was a kid, because I would go, when my second house or maybe third house that I ever lived in, I can't remember, we had a swimming pool, and I used that swimming pool as many times as I could take advantage, because I was a
Yeah,
fish.
same,
I loved swimming in the ocean. I loved swimming in pools. Any place that I could dive into a body of water, I would do it. And I would have all sorts of adventures. I had a crazy imagination. My mom would always be concerned about pruned fingers.
That's really
And
sweet, actually.
I would get called in, and I'd be like, "Oh, come on, Mom." I'd be just like the kid, just a few more minutes. And she'd be like, "Let me look at your fingers." That was always the thing. I don't know if this is like a 70s, 80s thing, or just something from my generation, where mothers of my generation, cared about that, because they're like, what's going to happen? I'm not going to mummify it. The oil's going to come back. They're going to heal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not like I'm going to die from pruned fingers, but it was a real concern for moms back then. And I don't understand the reason why. But
Yes.
yeah, the kid comes out of the water and he's like, "Oh, come on, Mom, just a few more minutes." And she's like, "Let me see your hands." And he shows her his hands, and he's like, "Alex Kittner, they're beginning to prune," is the line from the movie. So that's the reason why she didn't want him at first to go back into the water. But being a good mom that she is, she begrudgingly said, "Just 5 more minutes." And of course, he takes his raft out into the water, goes swimming and splashing around with the raft. And what happens next? Chomp.
Oh,
So
the horror.
that's when
That's
Alex
why I was
bites
thinking
it.
of his raft. I remembered there was a beat up raft. I just
That's
didn't.
right.
Yep.
Absolutely right. All right. Last question to wrap up the evening, guys. And technically not even a Jaws question, but this does come up in the movie. And some of you just might know this because it's just general trivia. But what is the backside of a boat called? Is it A, the port, B, the stern, C, the starboard, or D, the bow? And Quint actually did mention this in the movie. He actually went through every single side of the boat when he's yelling at Hooper, and he says, "Don't get it wrong, or I'll throw your ass out the little the little hole in the side of the boat," or something like that.
Jason,
What's your
okay, so
guess?
I'm torn because one of my favorite movies, Overboard, with Kurt Russell and Goldie
Oh
Hawn.
yeah, yes.
This little lifeguard guy at the end, he's just like, "Somebody off the port bow, sir." So port and bow are put together. So I'm like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
it's kind of like doing a like north, south, east, west, but only it's like northeast kind of a theme,
Okay.
basically.
Mm,
Actually, technically, that would be northwest if it's the port bow. Yeah,
Northwest.
yeah.
Okay.
If you're thinking the front of the ship is north and the left side is west, and yeah, it's the port bow is northwest. I think I said that right.
Okay.
So, what's your guess?
The stern.
The stern. Okay.
Oh, B. B.
B, the stern. All right, that's your guess. Andrew says E, the rump. That's a good one. And yeah, actually, Dad, you are correct. Port equals left. Yes.
That's cool. I
So
didn't know.
that kind of gives it away, but that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Andrew says F, the tail. That actually does make sense. The back of the boat is called the tail,
That does, yep, that one
right?
checked out to me.
I mean,
Yep.
why not? It's like a fish, right? It's an aquatic vessel, so call it the tail. And the front is called the snout, and the left side is called the left fin, and the right side is called
Fin,
the
yeah,
right
yeah.
fin.
Yep.
Actually, I take it back. The right side is called the lucky fin, just like Nemo.
Oh, Nemo.
Andrew says, "Stop playing with those sharks. You're getting pruned fingers." Yeah,
I
actually
care more
losing
about your
fingers.
pruned fingers than the
Right? Yeah, exactly. All right. So here's the answers. We got Steve saying B, the stern. Odie saying B, the stern. Patricia saying B, the stern. I think everybody is saying B, the stern. Leanne says C, starboard. And I think, Leia, you said B, stern, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on your nautical nonsense, everybody, because you are correct. It is B, the stern. Front, bow, right, starboard, left, port, Did I say that right? Left port and then B stern. Yeah, that's it. And then there's the aft. I had to look this up. There's the aft of the boat, which is technically also the back of the boat, but it's like right before the back of the boat.
Oh, AFT?
AFT. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw there was like this whole diagram that actually shows like the cross section of the top of a boat and like what they're all named. And it talked about all those and the aft. There was a few others, but I didn't look those up because I'm like, this was my last question. And I felt it was kind of like still on topic, but a little bit, it might still throw you off. And I think it worked out pretty well. So
Yeah.
that's all I got for trivia today, folks. And I hope you all had a good time. I had a great time. This was amazing.
So fun.
This was a lot of fun. Hey, Andrew says, hey, watch your aft.
That's
Make
good.
sure
I like it.
And don't forget to cover your aft too. You know, that's a very important thing. Dad says fantail, an overhanging part of the stern. Okay, see, there you go. It's another nautical term for a boat. And you know, I grew up with my dad's father, my grandfather. He took me out on boats all the time. I am surprised I didn't know all of these extra terms, but you know, I'm still learning stuff as I get older. We all are. But that's the great thing about life, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Steve says, can finally play in a trivia game. Yeah, I'm glad you made it for this one, buddy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So. All right. So, Leia, any closing thoughts on the 50th anniversary of Jaws? Any final fun facts you want to lay out there? Any final, favorite scenes or anything like that you want to mention before we sign off?
Yeah. I believe Steven Spielberg is still a phenomenal icon in the movie industry, and usually the saying goes that you walk so others can run, but with Jaws, he ran and others kind of walked after him as far as shark movies went. It's just absolute classic.
I think it was sort of like would you call it an anchor point of cinema?
Hey, boo boo. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to do my Marty McFly laugh there.
Oh my God.
George McFly laugh.
Oh my God. One of my favorite quotes from that movie. What, Lorraine? And that's when I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him.
Right. That's right. What, Lorraine? What?
I quote that when I don't hear somebody, I say that.
How's that for our next Tuesday episode where we go outside of Disney for our next off topic Tuesday?
Yeah. Yes, that movie I can quote all day.
We could quote all day, and we could talk about time travel till the cows come home, or at least until the aliens bring them back, because everything that I learned about time travel and Back to the Future got destroyed when I saw Marvel movies.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's yep.
Oh, that's right, Dad. You are my density.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Density.
I mean, your destiny. Oh.
Yeah.
Still remember.
Hey, McFly!
That's right. See, Andrew's saying people don't realize how incredibly successful Jaws was. It was made for $9 million and brought in $477 million domestically. Just domestically. That is crazy.
My goodness.
One hell of a profit. Way to go, Steven Spielberg. You rock, dude.
Actually,
and Peter Benchley. And Peter Benchley. I mean, Jaws wouldn't be a movie without Peter Benchley, so good on you, Peter. Good on you, Peter. Sorry. Okay. Little Joe. Hey, what are you going to say?
Oh, with what Andrew said, I do have one more thing to say real quick.
Yeah.
With Jurassic Park, I watched the documentary on that, and pretty much one of the lead guys on computer animation, he said that Steven just kept saying, I will not compromise on quality with this film, and it showed 1000%. The domesticated revenue that Andrew just showed, Steven Spielberg, he did not compromise on quality with that film, as hard as it was, and it paid off. Like, I love that about the dude. He doesn't do it with every film, but... yeah.
And you were saying that he kind of had like from what you remember, a fun fact, not really a fun fact, but just a fact that he kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown at the end of the filming of that movie because of how much stress it put him under.
How much the shark kept breaking down and just all of the, yeah.
It's not easy to make a movie on water or in water. It's not.
Because the shark was mechanical. Yeah.
Yeah. And poor mechanics at that, but they still made it work somehow. They still put together a masterpiece. If you guys
Yep.
ever get a chance and you want to see another fantastic documentary on a movie that is one of my favorites, it's a Jim Cameron classic of mine. It's The Abyss. And
Ooh.
it is a wonderful, I will call it a sci-fi movie because there is aliens in it, but it's mostly about how the humans interact with knowing or thinking that there might be aliens underwater. And the documentary behind it, you talk about a lot of things that went wrong. People got really sick. They got like chemical burns from the chlorine in the water. There was all sorts of problems filming underwater, trying to get figure out how they were going to make it like pitch black underwater. They talk about all that stuff. It is a fantastic documentary, and I don't usually watch these kind of things, but that is another one that has to do with a lot of water, and just they just completely describe everything that happened with it, good and bad. And it was another one that seemed like it was set for disaster, but it is, to me, another fantastic movie that I feel is
Heading on
worthy
my
of
list.
discussion. Yeah, yeah, The Abyss, and it's got a lot of fantastic actors in it. It's Ed Harris, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Um, oh my God, who's the guy who plays Coffee? He was in the original Terminator movie. Michael Biehn. Do you know who he is?
I love the Terminators. Which one was he?
Oh, he was in the original Terminator. He played Sarah Connor's like love interest. Basically, he was the one that was sent back in time to protect her. He
That
was
guy.
Kyle
Oh, I
Reese.
remember him. Oh, yeah.
He was. Oh, I remember him. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find me a guy that looks like him. I'll be on board.
Yeah, and he's actually he's the antagonist, one of the antagonists in this movie, and but I don't want to give too much away, but it's not really his fault.
Ooh, I'll watch that.
Yeah. So I'll give you that much of it to kind of tease you, and then you can, formulate your own opinion after you finish watching it. But it's wonderful. Let's see. Andrew says it's not easy to make a movie, period. But a film like Jaws was incredibly difficult to make at that time. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking from somebody who is directing audio programs, right? I mean, definitely not the same as a movie, but I mean, everything's got
Full
its own
directing.
difficulties in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had such a strenuous time on that one, Patricia says. And
Mhm.
Jason's final closing comment we will end the show with. He was in Tombstone as well, lives here in Arizona. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I forgot about that
Cool.
movie. I don't remember him being in that. I remember Val Kilmer being in that. And that's all I remember right now. I'm so on Jaws and sharks and everything right now. It's hard to remember anybody else in any other movies. Patricia says CG in Abyss was incredible for its time too. Yeah, that's when they started using like the water effects where they controlled water and they made it look like it was like being controlled by the aliens and stuff. It's the same kind of technology I think that they used in Terminator 2 where they did the
I was
liquid
gonna guess
metal
that.
Terminator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that movie is gold.
I
Yeah.
think ILM did the effects for that. So anyway. All right, Dad. He's saying shush, the puppies are asleep. So that's probably a good time to go ahead and wrap things up. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us on our very first wild card episode. I will definitely be doing this in the future. It made me feel like I made the right decision. We are going to be back on track with Disney next week, and we are going to have Mr. Koa Lee, who is the director of the movie Walt Before Mickey. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I believe it's available to watch on Peacock. There might be other ways to stream it, but I know that is where it's currently housed. It is not actually a Disney film. It is kind of like a docudrama about about Walt Disney before, or like of him creating like Walt Disney Studios and everything, and how all that came to be. So it's directed by him. It has Thomas Wilson, not Thomas Wilson. I'm getting his name is Ian. Oh Lord. I asked him to be on my podcast as well. I've actually met him at a Stockton Con before, and he actually is the guy who played Walt Disney in that movie. I think he's going to be on at some point, but for now we're just going to have to settle for the director and talk about that movie and how it was created, the research that they did, like what kind of information did they pull to actually get as accurate as possible for Walt Disney's life. I am excited. It's going to be a great
Sounds
show. So
amazing.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, watch it. Join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. so we can talk all about it with the man who directed it and maybe hopefully in the future an actor who actually played Walt Disney himself. Thanks again for everybody who joined and contributed to the trivia. This was a jawsomely fantastic, fun episode. And I do appreciate you all. Thanks for making Main Gate Magic magical, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another fun-filled episode of Main Gate Magic. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's been our pleasure bringing a little Disney magic into your life. Please remain seated while the show comes to a complete stop, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. For more information about upcoming episodes, please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You are now free to exit the show. Please watch your step, and be sure to tune in next week for more Main Gate Magic. Bye-bye.